feel like no installs are ever easy, but this one in particular is really crazy.
Just to give a little context here, my friends own this house, and they recently had the kitchen remodeled. A wall was removed where the cabinetry on the right is now, and the ceiling was lowered for HVAC ducting and such. So the ceiling and the wall behind the fridge were finished by the remodeling contractors. Now, the slanted ceiling is obvious just by looking at it, but I had no idea how out of plumb and out of square the wall behind the fridge was until I started installation. But I think this project is a perfect example as to why problem solving is so important in this type of work. Now, this is a small kitchen, so filming in here was a little bit difficult. I tried to keep the camera out of the way of my friends who were in and out of the kitchen.
So I'm just kind of temporarily putting things in place.
Oh, wow.
I think this does look nice, but obviously we know that this is not square. This is not square to this, so this is kind of slanted out. And I want to see what the thing on top looks like.
Huh.
And then you can kind of...
Ceiling.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I know it's probably too far over now.
So it's farther back in the back and then too far over.
Yeah, okay. Here, let me go ahead and put this guy on.
It needs to scoot farther back in that corner.
Yeah. Oh, that damn drywall that they put in the corner.
Yeah, because like it's, I mean, it's pretty off.
Yeah, that's really off. Okay. I mean, it might just be best if I like cut the back of this at an angle. Maybe over here I cut like 2 inches off and then it tapers down to nothing. And then that way it could lay flatter.
Like this is a difficult space, so I really just blame the contractors.
Those jerks. I think I can just take a level flush with this edge across, and then make a mark, and then I'll know on the back what's happening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. That is a big difference.
That is about how much needs to come off of the back side. Also left all my good tools at the job site, and all I have is this shitty rusty pry bar, so that's gonna make a mess of things. Okay. That corner was really built up with drywall mud, and aside from rebuilding this cabinet, this was the easiest thing I could think to do. So we're gonna try it, see if it works, and if not, we will come up with a different solution. Also, I'm gonna hit at least one nail because I couldn't get it out, so that sucks. When I make this cut, I have to be very careful not to hit either side. I only want to cut the top and bottom at this point. And I'm just missing my screws. So that's good, because I actually forgot to bring back my driver.
You're always going to have to adjust things, fix things, cut things that you weren't expecting to. And you can't let that keep you from doing the best job you possibly can. Problems that you run into are just really good learning experiences for the future. I didn't move the fridge out of the way when I initially took my measurements, and that was something that I really should have thought to do.
Crazy drywall corner mud job. On top of the wall just not being square anyway. we are basically back where we started. Back where we started, aside from this giant slant.
And they have
I
record.
feel like I've seen photos like that and I always was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Piece on the side of the face frame that goes up here, and then I'll add another one when I know exactly how big it needs to be, and then that can go in, and then, you know, when those are in and in the right place, then I can figure out where the door hinges go and put the door hinges on.
It looks so good.
Thank you. Almost done putting the doors on.
Wow.
Hopefully it fits. I mean, it seemed like there was plenty of room, but might have to shave off some, we'll see.
Ooh.
Do you think that was something you should?
I mean, I don't think there's really anything we can do about it now.
I got pretty wild with this trim. I decided that what I thought might look best is if I tapered the trim from one end to the other.
Carrie.
It might look terrible, I don't know.
I can't believe that you make this.
Well, I think it blends pretty well, and unless you're really studying it, it's probably not the first thing that's going to come to mind. There's a couple observations that I had though. For one thing, I wish that I had made this piece, or even just this whole side, as narrow as that side. I feel like this is really heavy over here, and I wanted it to be like the dining room trim, but it's really bulky as well. And if I had made it as narrow as that side, I think it might have blended a little bit better. I couldn't get these two pieces to miter together very well for some reason, but I ended up mitering an offcut of this onto here and then mitering these two together. It needs cleaning up. There's some parts I'm gonna have to chisel away. But I had to add glue to this, and I'm gonna need to let the glue set up completely. So that'll be something I do when I come back. It was a tricky bit of trim to do, and if I wasn't sort of under time constraints and it wasn't down to the wire, I'd probably make a second one just to improve on some of the techniques I used when I made this one. But it's just trim. If in the future they want to change it, or if I come over and it bothers me enough and I want to change it, then that might be something that happens. But you know, there's lots of original trim in the house that's pretty beaten up, so I don't think it stands out particularly bad. And it was really the contractors who slanted the ceiling so much that we have to blame for this looking the way that it does. Anyway, project pretty much complete. Regret not bringing my mask. Okay, this is absolutely not perfect, but you see it from the floor.